The elevator lurched, then shuddered to a halt. Darkness. Complete and utter darkness. A woman gasped, her breath catching in her throat. Power outage, she thought, a familiar anxiety clenching her chest. A man's voice, rough and low, cut through the silence. Anyone else here? He asked. She swallowed, her fear momentarily eclipsed by relief at not being alone. Yes, she replied, her voice barely a whisper. The air hung heavy with anticipation and the metallic scent of the confined space. He chuckled, a dry, crackling sound that sent shivers down her spine. Well, this is just great, he said sarcastically. The silence stretched, punctuated only by the woman's ragged breathing. She tried to discern his features in the inky blackness. He coughed, a deep, rattling cough that echoed in the small space. I'm Elias, he finally said, breaking the tense silence. She hesitated, a strange reluctance preventing her from offering her own name. Sarah, she whispered, the lie catching in her throat. Her real name was Elena, a name she had abandoned years ago. The elevator was stifling. The lack of air was making her anxious, exacerbating her nerves. Been a long day, Elias remarked, his voice strained. It has, Sarah replied, remembering the events of the day, the lies, the deception, the guilt that weighed on her soul like a physical burden. This was not the first time she had lied about her name. She wondered if Elias felt the stifling heat of the elevator too, or if it was just her guilt. The rhythmic thump-thump-thump of her heart echoed in the enclosed space. She tried to focus on anything but her secret. He spoke again, his voice quieter this time. You know, this reminds me of a time. He launched into a story about being trapped in a mine shaft as a child, a vivid, harrowing tale. Sarah listened intently, captivated by his storytelling and the raw emotion in his voice. Elias spoke of the suffocating darkness, the fear of being buried alive, a fear she recognized profoundly, though from a different context. His narrative was a poignant confession of his own vulnerabilities. She wondered what his greatest fear was. His story helped to ease the pressure building in Sarah's chest, diverting her attention from her own haunting past. The lack of light made the space feel even smaller, the silence heavier. Elias fell silent, then coughed again, the sound jarring in the claustrophobic space. She shifted uncomfortably. The metallic tang of fear filled her senses. Each minute seemed like an hour. Her secret pressed against her, threatening to suffocate her. She felt the prickle of sweat on her skin. He asked, breaking the silence, "So what do you do, Sarah?" His voice was gentle, surprisingly considerate given the circumstances. The question hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. She knew she couldn't lie. She opened her mouth to confess but shut it again, her throat constricting. The lies she'd built her life on felt like a crushing weight. A small sob escaped her lips. Elias, sensing her distress, shifted his weight. The silence hung heavy with unspoken words and shared apprehension. She felt his eyes on her even though she couldn't see him. A wave of guilt washed over her, threatening to drown her in its depths. He softened his tone. "It's all right, you don't have to tell me anything you're not comfortable with." His kindness startled her. He was patient, understanding. She considered confessing everything. The full extent of the crime, the years she'd spent running, the weight of her deception. She wondered if he would judge her. She wondered if she deserved his understanding. She opened her mouth to speak, to finally unveil the truth, to free herself from the burden of her secret. A sudden jolt shook the elevator, the lights flickered on, revealing a grimy metal box and two faces etched with a mixture of relief and uncertainty. The doors opened and they stepped into the blinding light. Elias offered Sarah his hand. They stepped out and the doors closed behind them, leaving the darkness and the secrets within.